They are obtained in the life of the demigods and also in the life of the dogs and hogs. The miseries and mixed happiness of all living beings are only of different degree and quality, but no one is free from the miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. Similarly, everyone has destined happiness also. No one can get more or less of this thing simply by personal endeavors. Even if they are obtained, they can be lost again. One should not therefore waste time with these flimsy things. One should only endeavor to go back to Godhead. That should be the mission of everyone's life. Om Ajnana Timirindasya Jnana Anjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Icha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Till what time I can give? 9 o'clock, 8:45. Hare Krishna. So today, because of there is a IBAC meeting, something is going on, and then first and second, and then third, fourth, and fifth bureau meeting, ISKCON bureau meeting. So devotees from all over India, they came, all leaders. So that's where hall is occupied. I think they may decide, to increase. They are planning to increase life membership fees from 35,000 to 55,000. If somebody wants to become life member, immediately you become before the meeting is finished. They are planning actually. So this is a very important verse. If not the verse, at least remember the translation. Right? Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido. Kovida means intelligent person. Right? As soon as I give this lecture, they will ask, simply sitting, how will you get enjoyment? Right? That is that question is asked by less intelligent people. But here, intelligent person. Kovida means intelligent person. Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido. Nalabhyate yad brahmatam upari adaha. There, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Abrahma bhuna loko punaravartino arjuna Mam upetyitu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. Right? Abrahma Bhunal Loko. Even if you go to Brahma Loka, Abrahma, Punaravartino Arjuna. Right? There are two meanings, Brahma Loka or up to Brahma Loka. In general, actually, in second kind of Bhagavatam it is mentioned at the end of the Kalpa or whatever. Brahmaloka, where there is a partial annihilation. There is annihilation. At the time, all the residents of Brahmaloka, they go back to Vaikuntha. That is why some acharyas, they say, up to Brahmaloka. Right? Or some acharyas say, even if you go to Brahmaloka. Right? Punaravartino Arjuna. You have to come back to this material world consisting of birth, death, old age and disease. Mam upyatyitu kaunteya. If you come to my planet, you don't have to take birth again. So the meaning of, na labhyate yad brahmatam upariyada. Upari means Brahmaloka. Ada means Pataloka. Even if you go to Brahmaloka, even if you go to Pataloka, one thing you don't get. What is that? Liberation. Moksha. So, Narada Muni is saying that those who are intelligent people, they should simply endeavor to obtain that one thing which you cannot obtain, even if you go to Brahmaloka or even if you go to Pataloka, what to speak of? Matyaloka, this material, this earthly planet. Right? Kovida. Kovida means? Intelligent. And as far as material sense enjoyment is concerned, it is destined. Right? Whatever sense enjoyment you are getting and you will be getting, or whatever dukkha you are getting or you are about to get, for that you have already worked for it in your last life, or not last life, some previous lives. Last life we are all animals. Right? You already done. Abhi, now whatever you may do, you will not get any enjoyment if it is not destined. And then whatever work you are doing now, you will reap the benefits in the future lives. That is the difference between Niti, Dharma, Satyam. You know the difference? During Ramakatha I explained. Anybody remembers? Niti, Dharma, and Satyam. Niti means moral principles that you should follow in this life to lead a comfortable life. Right? There are many people who are, of course, some people they don't get caught, but sometimes, some corrupt people they get caught. Right? And they recently one very, I think this fellow, Jet Airways ka, what's his name? Goyal. He was crying, right? Arey mar jaunga. He's in jail, and then he was crying. Arey mujhe chhod do. Right? Right? So that is if you even otherwise also, there should be some discipline in life. Right? Suppose in the office also, there is some feast or something. You whatever they serve you, you should eat, right? Not that you will gobble up 10 gulab jamuns, then you will get bad name. Arey itna khata hai. Right? For everywhere you should lead a disciplined life, in this, for comforts in this life. Otherwise, if somebody is a liar, if somebody is corrupt, they may get caught and they may suffer. That is one thing. And then dharma means, according to Ramayana, whatever dharmic activities you perform, you get the result only in future life. परलोक सुधारो ऐसा बोलते हैं ना, परलोक सुधारो. Many people, they complain, अरे I am coming to the temple, I am giving charity, I am doing this vrata and that vrata, क्या फायदा हुआ? But they are all dharmic activities. Dharmic activities are meant for betterment of future lives. Remember, dharma, whatever, like, nitya karma we do, like, doing Gayatri and all that, and then giving charity, then practicing Ekadasi Vrata, or so many, they do so many vratas, so many dharmic activities, all that. You get result in telling the truth, then you get result only in the next life. And then Satyam. Satyam means Krishna. Whatever activities you perform in connection to Krishna, absolute truth, right? So that is where. So whatever we are getting now, we should be satisfied. Right? Dharmartham apineheta tatrartham adhano na dhanam. Adhano dhanam. So Narad Muni says in 7th canto, 15th chapter, aniha manasya maha aher iva vrittida. Right? The first principle Narad Muni is saying that whether you have money or you don't have money, one should not endeavor to earn more money. Right? That is the first principle for happy life. Then Narad Muni is saying that if you don't have material desires, just like python is, delivered food. Python, you know python? Python doesn't work. Right? Whatever it gets on its, by the will of providence, it is satisfied. Whatever, like. So Krishna provides food to such people. What is the first principle? Even if you have money or don't have money, don't endeavor to earn more money. If you don't have material desires, just like a python is supplied, Krishna serves, supplies to them. That is, that is for devotees, especially in the those who are devotees, they should try to apply this principle. Santushta nirihasya. Santushto nirihasya. Next verse, Narad Muni is saying, Santushto nirihasya. Swa atmaramena tatsukam. Kutastat kamalobhasya. Dhavato arteya dishaha. Those who are satisfied with what they have, they are always happy. Right? But for those people who are, going here and there, dhavato means going here and there, from morning to night, people work hard in the search of happiness by the influence of kama and lobha. Where is the happiness for them? Dhavato, artheya, right? Then Narada, you can always, if you want, you can remember this verse. Sada santushta manasaha. Sada shivamaya dishaha. Sarkaro kantake debyo. Yata upanat padam shivaha. Very great principle. Apply this principle in your life, that always sada santushta manaha, in your mind, always be satisfied. Always be satisfied with what you have. Right? Wherever you go, sada deshamayas, in all directions, wherever you go. Just like, sada sivamaya dishaha. Just like when you wear a chappal, wherever you go, even if the road is filled with thorns and the pebbles and the sharp, things, even if you keep your feet on those places, you will not your feet don't get injured. In the same way, if you wear the shoes of satisfaction, wherever you go, in whatever direction you go, you will be happy all the time. Right? Santushto kenava rajan na varteta api varina. Varina means water. Somebody who is satisfied, he can be happy simply by drinking water. Aupastya jihivaivika karpanyat graha palayate janaha. Right? I was quoting this verse in Friday lecture also. What is the meaning of this verse? Omkar, you remember? I quoted this verse in Friday lecture. Somebody who is satisfied, he can live simply by drinking water also. But one who is attached to three things. One is, Prahlad Maharaj also described Udaropastha Parayana. The karmis are worshippers of sense organs and belly. Somebody, aupastya means sense enjoyment. Right? Then jihvaivika means one who is jivera lalasa, one who is always demanding food, one who cannot control his tongue. And then karpanya, weakness. Weakness, one who has weak. Such a person, he will become a household dog. He has to live like a household dog. Right? Muchkund Maharaj, he is praying to the Lord, my dear Lord, I am a emperor of the world. When I conquer the nations, they take me on the procession, on elephant procession. Taking on an elephant procession is a big thing, previously. and people worship. But when I come home to the palace, when I enter my wife's bedroom, just like a Madari makes the monkey to dance. So my wife makes me dance because I'm attached to sense enjoyment. Right? ऐसा है ना? Huh? That is the, इतना बड़ा बड़ा big man, कितना बड़ा बाहर, huh?
She kicks.
Yeah. Srinivas garu, what I am saying is correct? Huh? Don't become a monkey, dancing monkey. Or Tanay Agarwal, he didn't become. So, very interesting. Those who want to live happily, please read 7th canto, 15th chapter by heart. By heart that chapter. Anyway, there are many instructions like that. So the satisfaction, just by hearing this philosophy, you don't feel satisfied. Right? Like in temples also, devotees are not, right? They are not satisfied. They want. So the principle is, Krishna should be satisfied with you. Right? When Krishna is satisfied with you, you are also satisfied. Right? What is that verse? What is that? Yasmin tushte jagat tushte. Right? Yasmin tushte jagat tushte. If Krishna is satisfied, you are also satisfied. Right? So in order to follow this principle of satisfaction, you must recognize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he is the Supreme Controller. Right? And then yesterday I was reading Krishna book, Bhagavatam 13th chapter, 10th canto. Prabhupada writes a beautiful thing that who is a real devotee? Prabhupada is defining that one who understands that only Krishna is completely independent and all others are dependent, then he is a real devotee. We think that we have some independence, right? Huh? Omkar? Huh? We think that how much independence we have, our Maharaj, not Chitrika, means Vritarashtra is teaching to Indra. Very beautiful instructions, 4 or 5 verses are there. Very beautiful instructions. He instructed that Yata Darumayi Loko sapalo yasyeme swasanti vasati vivashaha dvija eva sicha baddha sakala ihkaranam. Suppose a bird is caught in a net. How much independence it has? Krishnavani garu? What is your initial name? कृपा सिद्धि, कृपा दृष्टि. तो अब कृपा दृष्टि कीजिए, ऐसा आंख बंद करेगा सबके ऊपर कृपा दृष्टि. कृपा दृष्टि देवीदासी कौन है? राधा रानी? What was I saying? What did I ask?
How much independence?
A bird is caught in a net. How much independence it has? Huh? Little, means. Huh? Yeah. Right? Loko sapalo yasyame. Even the demigods who are controlling these planets, all of us, how much independence we have? Huh? The bird which is caught in the net, how much independence it has? That much independence only we have. Very little. How much it can move, क्या करते रहते हैं, right? Like that. But we are thinking, huh? I can do, just do whatever you want. What is it? Just do it. Huh? Just do it. All these people, they think that they have independence, they can do whatever they want. But actually, very little independence we have. But Prabhupada writes, who is the real devotee? Huh? Krishna only has independence, right? Yesterday I was meditating on this. This Swarat, I just want to ask somebody. I also don't know. This Swarat word applies only to Krishna or all other incarnations? Huh? Vishnu and all, they are not Swarat?
They also get powers.
I was just thinking, because Mahavishnu, Prabhupada writes, he also doesn't have, he cannot see Krishna whenever he wants. I was meditating on that. I was wondering, only Krishna is Swarat, this word applies only to Swarat, only to Krishna, or Ramchandra also, I don't know. What do you think, Tanay Lagava? I'll find out the answer. So Prabhupada said, what is real independence? Real independence is complete dependence on Krishna. Where it is mentioned? First canto, 8th chapter, Queen Kunti's prayers, Prabhupada writes. Everybody, very beautiful. Apiyadyanasvam swakrute hita prabhu. That verse. The verse immediately after, Shrunvanti gayanti grunanti apikshnasha smaranti nananti tavehitam janaha. Beautiful purport, small purport, but very interesting. The real independence is to completely dependent on Krishna. Like Pandavas, work with valor, Prabhupada writes, work with valor like Pandavas. But when it comes to result, depend completely on Krishna. In this material world, everybody wants to be independent. These materialistic scientists and all, they are working very hard to become free from the control of the material nature. That is their greatest mistake, Prabhupada writes. And Prabhupada writes, in this material world, it is considered very demeaning to depend on others. Right? That is why we want to be self-sufficient and all that. But Prabhupada writes that we have, in the spiritual life, greatest achievement is to completely depend on Krishna. Take out that apiyadyanasvam swakrute hita prabhu jihasisi suhrido anujivanaha esham na chanyat bhavata padambuja parayanam yojista rajahans. Because Queen Kunti is praying to Krishna, my dear Lord, all these days we are completely dependent on you. Now we are going away. All the princes that we have killed, their sons are very revengeful. If you go away, how will we survive? She was such beautiful prayers. ऐसा कैसा इतना भक्ति Read some portion of this portion. मिला कि नहीं? हाँ? Yeah. क्या? हाँ. कौन सा श्लोक मैंने बोला? You are not reading only, huh? Just. I'll get you. 1.8. Huh?
23.
Yeah, 23.
Without Shrikesh.
Verse number 37. Right? So I will read the purport. The Pandavas are most fortunate because with all good luck they were entirely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. See? That is real independence. 15th August is chala gaya na? In the material world, to be dependent on the mercy of someone else is utmost sign of misfortune. But in the case of our transcendental relation with the Lord, it is the most fortunate case when we can live completely dependent on Him. The material disease is due to the thinking of becoming independent of everything, but the cruel material nature does not allow us to become independent. The false attempt to become independent of the stringent laws of nature is known as material advancement of experimental knowledge. The whole material world is moving on the false attempt of becoming independent of the laws of nature. Beginning from Ravana, who wanted to prepare a direct staircase to the planets of heaven, down to the present age, they are trying to overcome the laws of nature. They are trying now to approach distant planetary systems by electronic mechanical power. But the highest goal of human civilization is to work hard under the guidance of the Lord and become completely dependent on Him. The highest achievement of perfect civilization is to work with valor, but at the same time depend completely on the Lord. The Pandavas were the ideal executor of this standard of civilization. Undoubtedly, they were completely dependent on the goodwill of the Lord Krishna, but they were not idle parasites of the Lord. They were all highly qualified, both by personal character and by physical activities. Still, they always looked for the mercy of the Lord, because they knew that every living being is dependent by constitutional position. The perfection of life is therefore to become dependent on the will of the Lord instead of becoming falsely independent in the material world. Those who try to become falsely independent of the Lord are called anatha, or without any guardian, whereas those who are completely dependent on the will of the Lord are called sanatha, or those having someone to protect them. Therefore, we must try to be sanatha so that we can always be protected from the unfavorable condition of material existence. By the deluding power of the external material nature, we forget that the material condition of life is the most undesirable perplexity. So anyway, so this is very beautiful purport, right? Read this purport again and try to inculcate, how to become completely dependent on Krishna, the mercy of Krishna, like Pandavas. Not that, I want to be independent. Right? So what I am saying, that tasyaiva heto praiteta kuvida na labhyate yad brahmatam upariyatah tal labhyate dukkhavat anyatha sukham kalena sarvatra ghabir ramhasa. By the Kala is the one who delivers us happiness and distress at the correct time. Suppose you are very busy going to the office. You cannot tell Kala, whatever trouble you are going to give it in the evening, because right now I need to go to the office. No? Right? So at the exact time, Kala delivers happiness also, distress also. And then nobody in this world can avoid. Nobody in this world can avoid this trouble being delivered by Kala. Right? So, here Narad Muni is advising that those who are intelligent, don't make an endeavor to become happy because it is already predestined. One should be satisfied with certain things. Whatever food you are getting, be satisfied. Right? Whatever wealth you are getting, be satisfied. Whomever you get as your spouse, for women it is husband, or for men it is wife. Whomever you get, be satisfied. Yeah, that is Then don't be satisfied with, I think 3 or 4 things I will tell. One is, um, uh, how much, don't be satisfied with the kind of donation that you are giving, charity. जन्माष्टमी को कलश दे दिया बस, ये साल के लिए इतना है, right? You didn't give. Right? And don't be satisfied. How many rounds you have chanted holy name, right? And don't be satisfied, how much katha you heard. एक घंटा सुन लिया, 2 घंटा, अभी आज के लिए, ये हफ्ते के लिए काफ़ी है, right? The more the merrier. Three things you should be satisfied. 3 things you should not be satisfied. What are they? Can you tell? What is your name? Yours? Anirudh. Can you tell? 3 things you should be satisfied with in your life. One is, whatever food you get, sometimes you get khichdi, sometimes you get paneer sabji, with puri, kachori, right? Wife, whatever she cooks, not that like usually in the beginning, first year of marriage, the wife asked, once wife asked, खाने में क्या खाएगा? What are the options? छोले भटूरे, paneer, matar paneer, paratha, pulao rice, tomato chutney, then dal makhni, like that. After 5 years she asked, खाना खाएगा? What are the options? हाँ या ना? खाएगा नहीं खाएगा? जो मनता है खा लो. हाँ या ना? Right? Whatever she cooks, you have to, you should eat. Nah, ये क्या बनाया? Right? One should not find fault too much, in the food, They say marriages are made in heaven. Something like that, no? Marriages are made in heaven. Bills are paid here. Somebody was saying, he's fed up with his wife or whatever. ऐसा बोलते हैं कि ऊपर वाले, दे मैरिज आर मेड इन हेवन. अरे ऊपर का लोग, ऊपर वाले भी आजकल गलतियां कर रहे हैं. ऐसा, बट दे आर डिस्टाइंड. I know my mother's cousin. We used to live in Vizag and then he used to stay in Baroda. Every time he would come to Andhra, to look for a girl. He is well placed in Baroda, some big company. कैसी है? My mother also used to look for girls. कैसी है लड़की? नाक थोड़ा टेढ़ा है. Again he would come next year. Again they would arrange, my mouse and buddy ma and all, they arrange. He would look for a girl. He would look and go and. They ask, my mother would ask, how is the girl? थोड़ा छोटी है. हाइट कम है, बाल थोड़ा ये है, ब्लैक नहीं है, आंखें आंध्रा है, आइज आर, ऐसा रिजेक्ट करते करते गए. देन फाइनली 35 years हो गया, फिर वी गॉट ए wedding card. So we are all thinking, that we will get to see some Miss Universe or somebody. Then देखा तो हम ऐसा आंध्रा में बोलते हैं ना, दिन में देखा तो रात में सपना में आएगी ऐसे. My mother asked, क्या हो गया? क्या क्या कहें बहन, सब डेस्टिनी. अरे हम इतने अच्छे अच्छे लड़कियों को दिखाते थे, सब रिजेक्ट. अभी आफ्टर 30 years, beggars cannot be choosers, Below 30 you can, choose girls. ऐसा ठीक नहीं है, वो ठीक नहीं है, ये सब. After 30 years, whoever you get, you should marry. You cannot choose that, like that. So you get whatever you are destined. Be satisfied. Right? In Mahabharata, it is written, how much charity you have given in your last life. Interest is calculated on that. There is an equation. And accordingly, how much wealth you will get in this life is decided. Not by working hard. Right? So that is why we keep saying, instead of keeping the money in the bank, Yes Bank and HDFC Bank, you get only 8%, right? 7.5%, kitna? 7.5, 8%. In Krishna Bank, you get 110%. Hundi, our hundi. If you put money in the hundi, you get 110% interest. I am not bluffing, it is there in second canto Bhagavatam. I think 6th or 7th chapter, Prabhupada writes. So that's how people get wealthy. Right? Who can remember? I quoted one verse from 7.15. Anybody remembers? How does one get? Bolo, Sushil, you remember? I quoted recently, many times I quoted this verse recently. How do you get everlasting wealth? I know you have forgotten. Muniannam. You remember? Muniannam? What is Muniannam?
The sadhu with food, which is
Huh?
food cooked in pure ghee offered to Krishna and then give it as prasad to a sadhu.
Qualified Vaishnava. Deshakala samprapte, what is that? Deshakala samprapte, Muni annam hari daivatam. Muni annam hari daivatam. Shraddhaya vidivat patre, nyastam kamaduk akshayam. Akshaya means one which doesn't get reduced. Akshaya tritiya, akshayam. Right? Like that. So Narada Muni is saying that according to the availability, according to the time and place, deshakala, samprapte, whenever you get, Muni annam hari daivatam. The food cooked with ghee offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Hari. If you offer that food, Shraddhaya, with faith, Vidivat, following all principles. Right? A host should never sit with a guest and eat. Right? There is a principles. One should wear chadar on his left shoulder. Grihasthas, they should always wear chadar on the left shoulder. With shraddha, with faith, When a devotee, when a pure devotee like Prabhupada, just imagine, Prabhupada went to so many people's houses, right? You go forward and then receive him and take his chappal and carry the chappal and give him a place, show him to the, wash his feet, before entering the house. So from the door, from the gate up to the house, whichever the number of steps you have taken, while receiving a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, you get the result of performing with every step one Ashwamedha Yajna. Right? That's the power of pure devotees. So you just imagine, so many devotees. Of course, I don't know whether they are cooking with ghee and offering to Prabhupada. Prabhupada liked mustard oil sometimes. This bangan barta, bangan baja, not barta, bangan baja. It should, Prabhupada is to prefer in, even bangan barta also, it should be cooked in mustard oil. Sometimes Prabhupada liked mustard oil. Otherwise, one should cook with ghee, pure ghee, and offer to Harivatam. That is called Muni Annam. Muni Annam cooked with ghee and offered to Krishna. You feed a Vaishnava. One will get everlasting opulence. Anyway, so that's how, in Mahabharata, Anushashik Parva, there is a equation is lot of statement. Lord Shiva is teaching to Mother Parvati. I had made notes. So how much charity, charity given to a certain person. That is also there. If you give to a Sudra, you will get, suppose if you give 100 rupees to your Sudra, in your next life you will get 100 rupees back. Right? And then if you give to a unqualified Brahmana, right? You get, if you give 100 rupees, you get 10,000 rupees. Unqualified Brahmana. Then if you give to a qualified Brahmana, if you give 100 rupees, you will get 1 lakh rupees. If you give to a qualified Vaishnava, Krishna temple, Hare Krishna temple, unlimited wealth, it compound interest, it multiplies, unlimited. You just give 100 rupees to Krishna, Krishna will give so much. Like in 11th canto Bhagavatam, Krishna himself says to Uddhava Gita, that if somebody gives a piece of land for constructing a Krishna temple, he will become a king in his next life. Right? Just like, we see out of the blue, Atal Bihari Vajpayee became Prime Minister. Right? L.K. Advani, he is the one in 84. BJP had only 4 seats. 2 seats. Because of L.K. Advani, BJP became popular. He tried 2 times, to become Prime Minister. He could not become. That means he is not given a land. For 2002 to 2014, they abused Modi like anything. Every newspaper, every channel, mass murderer, itna most abused person. Suddenly he became Prime Minister. That means no, he was very unpopular, right? Means itna barrage of criticism. mass murderers, Gujarat violence, communal riots, kitna, America banned him, they invoked his, revoked his passport, visa, and awesome, Britain, everybody, like that. But, they never imagined, Sonia Gandhi called him, Maut ki Saudagar. So many, abuses hurled at him. But he became Prime Minister. So it doesn't depend, just like Lalu Prasad Yadav. He was put into jail, he was a criminal and all that. In 2015, they came to power, Why? Because actually it doesn't depend on popularity and people's opinion and all. If you had actually donated some land to the, for constructing Krishna temple, Krishna will make you a king, you just can't, suppose, many people, they don't like Rahul Gandhi to become Prime Minister. Who knows, if he had pious activity, credits to him, he also maybe become, right? Just like, what's his name? Jetmalni commented, I don't even like to keep him as a peon in my office. He is such a duffer. But he may become Prime Minister, suppose if he had Punya Karma. Right? So somebody don't have Punya Karma, he cannot. It all depends, like that. So, Krishna, there is, just like Lord Shiva says, that if you had you don't have money, but somehow or other somebody is in need of help, somehow or other you arranged, to help him. Then in the next life, you will get money without working, without doing anything. You just get money like that. You see, right? Somebody leaves inheritance and suddenly, you become rich like that, right? Like our Sanjay was telling, suddenly out of blue he got some inheritance, he got a flat in Parla East, somebody left inheritance, some problem, like that, you get like that. Suppose, I had this experience, sometimes I go to some donor, we used to contact people from the temple, get names and all that. Once I had this habit, I used to get up early in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. Then I used to have seva in BI, accountant. I was an accountant. Then I used to teach in the BSMS school some classes. Then I used to go for money collecting. No rest, very hectic life I had initially, in my life. Then rickshaw. One side myself, another side Gopeshwar, my partner was there. Sometimes some people, they used to wake up, Swamiji gir jayega. Once we were going to we are actually coming back from Santa Cruz, right? So one person, he was driving Fiat car. That time, there were no luxury cars. I was speaking of 93, 94, like that. So he woke me up. Swamiji gir jayega. And then my name is Ram Rup Das. Can I have your card? I asked him. He was talking to me. Yeah. So where are you going? He asked me. I said, I came from making life member. Oh, I also want to become life member. Okay, give me the card. I took his card and then I told the driver. So where are you going? He used to live in Nepean Sea Road. उधर चला गया उसके साथ. ऐसा तुरंत बन गया. Some people, बाद में आओ, परसों, एक महीने के बाद आओ, एक साल के बाद, ऐसा घुमाते हैं. One day, one person, he was always making me come again and again. स्वामी जी, बिजनेस अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है, ये वो. Every time I would go to meet him, he would keep me waiting and then he would say no. Right? Then every time I would go, I see a new car. मेरे को इतना गुस्सा आया एक दिन. See, every time you are saying like this, one day, पैसा नहीं, business अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है. One day Krishna will make your words true. कृष्ण भगवान आपका बातों को सच बना देगा. नहीं, ऐसा मत बोल, ले लीजिए. 18th. I still remember, one guy, he made me, go around. Then I went to, I forgot, Andheri East, his office is there. I went, then he gave a check, but the check, there was some, he didn't write properly, and the check bounced. By the time I went again to collect the check again, he became bankrupt. It came in the paper also, some lafda he did, and then there is some security, SCBA, whatever, that inquiry, and then closed. I still remember, I could not make him a life member. Like that. So, in Mahabharata, Lord Shiva says, if you do like that, you make people around, run around, and then, kal aao, baad mein detna, ye wo. So, he will become rich in his old age. Yeah. Old age में rich हो के क्या फायदा है? दांत निकाल के साफ करते. फिर से लगाते. क्या खाएगा? ड्राई फ्रूट ही कैनॉट ईट ड्राई फ्रूट. चिपक जाएगा अंदर. Anyway, so there are many things, Lord Shiva says, who does become rich and who does become poor. If you trouble people, all these politicians and, nowadays, they glorify, these movies, they glorify gangsters, they keep on making gangster movies. Right? And it is such a bad effect on the society, But how much pain they cause to people by, usurping the lands and, killing their relatives, all that. They get a very, very painful life. Somebody who gives pain to others. Just like Lord Shiva says, if you leave one grain of rice in the plate, in your next life, you will not get 100 grains of food. When they become accumulated, then you don't get, one day food. One has to go hungry. Like that, there is a calculation. Like that, how much pain. So suppose if you slap somebody, if you give one slap, in your next life, you will get 100 slaps. That is the calculation. If you give 1 rupee, you get 100 rupees. Like that, if you give trouble to others. So that is why Narad Muni says that, live a life where you don't cause pain to anybody. Right? I will conclude by saying this, that Nagapatnis, they are praying to Krishna. So they were wondering how this rascal, our husband, got fortune of receiving the dust of your lotus feet, which Lakshmi also doesn't get. Then they were giving a theory. Maybe my husband, tapassuttaptam ki manena purvam, nirastamanena cha manadena, dharmotava sarva jananu kampaya, bhavam tushyati sarva jivaha. He says, by giving up, by performing austerity and penance, by giving up nirastamanena cha manadena, by giving respect to everybody and by not expecting respect from anybody, or he might have performed all dharmic activities without causing pain to any living entity. Which is satisfying to you? You know, when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, we should not cause pain to. Who is that singer? You know, कितना भी बुरा गाए, कैसा भी गाए, उसको ताली मिलता है. You know, mosquito. Right? Mosquito बजाता रहता है, हमको ताली बजाना पड़ता है. Right? So, Prabhupada says, you know, mosquito को भी मारना नहीं चाहिए. Don't cause pain to any living entity by your words, by your mind, and by your body. Hare Krishna. We are planning, I will see when date, Janmashtami success party. We'll inform you. Hare Krishna. हाँ? आज सुदर्शन माधव प्रभु का बर्थडे है. We'll wish him by chanting once Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions or comments?